Welcome back, all you beautiful humans, to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at 3 stories. In the first one, someone tries to adopt out OP's baby against her will. The second one is about a crazy Karen pushing a disabled person out of their mobility scooter. And the last one is about an entitled celebrity ignoring safety rules and injuring himself. And don't forget to subscribe so I can bring you more daily Reddit stories. This one's titled, Almost Had My Baby Stolen by Coworker's Family. A little background, I'm a 22-year-old female and I'm currently 8 months pregnant with my first child. My boyfriend is a 31-year-old male. I work as a secretary on the inpatient ward of a hospital second shift. I started working here when I was 19 and supported myself through college. Also great benefits. So my coworkers are like family. My biological family sucks, but that's another post. When I was 4 months pregnant, I told my coworkers, who were happy for me, all except Patty. Fake name, obviously. She didn't say anything. After a while, she started being friendly with me, asking about the baby, my health, and my plans for the future. I told her that my boyfriend and I were getting married and moving in together to be a family. Patty didn't like this for some reason, and started asking me about my opinions on adoption. I said no, I'd never adopt out my child. For a few weeks, Patty gave me the silent treatment. Then one night, after visiting hours, a couple showed up, 40-ish male and female. I told them that visiting hours were over and that they could see their family member tomorrow. The woman said, "Oh, we're here to see you. We're so excited to meet you and want to thank you for choosing us to give your baby to." I was dumbfounded, shocked, until the woman tried to touch my 6-month pregnant belly. I screamed so loud that all of the nurses came running. The couple tried to explain to security, nurses, and me that their sister-in-law told them that I was a young unwed mother desperately trying to give up my baby for adoption and chose them. I told them that I had no intentions of giving up my baby and to never come near me again. I also told them that I don't even know their sister-in-law, but they kept insisting that I did. The next night, Patty comes charging up to my desk, screaming at me about how could I treat her brother and sister-in-law like garbage after she helped me with my mistake. I called security, and Patty, her brother, and sister-in-law are banned from coming near me or contacting me at work. But I'm 8 months pregnant and scared that these crazy entitled people will find me when I deliver and demand my baby. My boyfriend says it's just hormones and they can't just steal our baby, but I'm terrified. That Patty person is crazy. Who the hell would do something like that? Even though she told her that she has no intention to adopt out her baby, she just kind of assumed so because she's single and unmarried. And for whatever reason, decided to go to her in-laws and tell her, you know, I know someone that wants to adopt out her baby. And for them to just show up like that and be so upfront with her right off the bat without even having met or spoken with her is just really weird. Maybe this Patty girl is baby crazy or something and just kind of decided she needs to save this baby from what she calls a mistake. This one's called Entitled Karen Pushes Me Out of Electric Cart. So this just happened at my local grocery store and I'm still fuming over it. So please forgive any typos or strong language that may be used. For reference, I have a hereditary connective tissue disorder that makes my tendons, ligaments, skin, some veins, and other connective tissue very loose and stretchy. This causes chronic pain, frequent dislocations, hyperextensions, and generally loose joints. I also have a degenerative disc disease and a comorbid form of dysautonomia that makes my heart race every time I'm standing and can eventually cause me to pass out if I'm standing for too long. I can walk, but I have to use a cane when I do because I can't walk very well or for very long. My knees don't like to support my body weight and I can very easily dislocate a knee or a hip if I step ever so slightly wrong or happen to trip over anything. Because of this, I tend to use my wheelchair for longer outings. Thankfully, my local grocery store has those electric carts that customers can ride around on in the store, so I don't have to go through the trouble of hauling my wheelchair out of the car and can just use one of those. So I'm in the store doing some grocery shopping, minding my own business. I wasn't even really paying attention to the people around me because I just wanted to get what I needed and get out. One of the items I needed happened to be on the top shelf, so I got up out of the electric cart to get it off the shelf. The next thing I know, this effing Karen flips out because those carts are for people who need them, not kids who just want to take them for a joyride. I should add here that if you didn't know me or you've never seen me attempt to walk, there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with me. Other than the way I walk, I look perfectly healthy to the casual observer. Now, I get this kind of thing all the time when I'm using one of the store's electric carts, so I just rolled my eyes and told her that I do need it, and started to move along to get the rest of my shopping done. Surprise, surprise, that wasn't the end of it. The next thing I know, this B-word's hands were on my shoulders and she gave me a hefty shove and effing pushed me so hard I fell out of the cart. Now I'm just sitting there on the floor, stunned, while this woman yells obscenities at me in between generally incoherent ramblings about dumb college kids. Thankfully, at this point, my boyfriend came back from grabbing milk. He rounded the corner into the aisle and saw what was going on, and from the look on his face, I'm surprised he didn't deck the B word. The subsequent argument went something like this. Boyfriend says, "Excuse me, what the F do you think you're doing?" "This little brat thinks it's okay to steal carts from disabled folks," said Karen. "He is disabled, you effing twat." Karen responds, "I saw him get up to reach for something. He's obviously faking it." "You thick mother effer, you think just because he can stand means he doesn't need a cart? And you think that gives you the right to assault him? What the F is wrong with you?" said boyfriend. He then proceeds to ask me if I want him to call the cops. The lady starts freaking out over the possibility of actual real-life assault charges. And I guess the commotion was enough that at that point one of the store managers decided to get involved. He sees me still on the floor, asks what was going on, and when my boyfriend explained what happened, he also asked if I wanted to call the authorities. At this point, I had had enough. I was pretty shaken up and on the verge of crying, which I don't like to do in public, and I just wanted to go home. At the end of all this, the store manager comped my groceries, banned Karen from the store, and told me he would make sure that all the other stores from the chain that were in the area did too. I've had people give me the side eye or go so far as to chide me for using the store's electric carts before, but I have never had anyone put their hands on me until now. It makes me so mad because this woman literally just saw me stand up to reach for something, and apparently that was reason enough for her to feel the need to physically remove me from the mobility aid I was using. Now, like I said, to the casual observer, I don't look disabled. Unless you saw me walking or saw me dislocate something, you probably wouldn't know there was anything wrong with me. It just makes me so angry because people ought to know that invisible illnesses exist, and that not all disabilities can be outwardly seen. Also, just because someone can stand up doesn't mean they don't need a wheelchair. It's not like only people who are paralyzed have the right to use one. And even if I was just a dumb college kid taking an electric cart for a spin, that still doesn't give someone the right to push me out of it. If you think I shouldn't be using it, go get a manager or something. Or better yet, mind your own damn business and finish your own damn shopping. I shouldn't have to explain my disability to everyone who sees me using a mobility aid. That happens a lot even when I'm just using my cane. Random strangers will ask me what happened or how I hurt myself. My go-to answer / shutdown for that now is, I was born. And I especially shouldn't have to fear for my physical safety every time I need to go grocery shopping. Anyway, sorry if this was long-winded or ranty. This crap was infuriating. Yeah, I don't blame you, OP. You have every right to be infuriated over something like this. I've touched on this topic several times on this channel, but I'll say it again. It's not anyone's right to assume anyone's disability or physical situation. And it's like OP said, not all disabilities are immediately apparent or even visible. And not to mention that it's not even anyone's business in the first place. This story is called Entitled Celeb and the Satisfying Crunch. Back in my 20s, I worked as a counselor for a camp with a space theme. We hosted numerous VIPs at special events, fundraisers, and launch parties. For the most part, however, we were a day/week camp for children to learn about science and space stuff. The special events were always scheduled for times when the children were either off-site in the dorms during the off-season or the building was divided and closed off to separate the groups. In the early 90s, our program director decided to accept an offer from a popular cable music channel TV host of the time to film for a couple of days in our facility during a weekly kids session. He reasoned it would be good for business and would help push our attendance in the off-season. A small group of children were selected to follow this comedian as they had parental approval for the TV release. To say this man was an entitled, arrogant douche would be an understatement. We had strict safety rules in place for all campers for obvious reasons. The equipment we used had to be held at all times by staff as it moved and behaved as if it were in a different planetary atmosphere or in complete zero gravity. This was to give the campers as much of a lifelike experience as possible in a safe environment. Safety straps, boundary lines, height limits, etc. Our entitled douche of the story hated being put on a leash. He was playing to his demographic, young teens who thought his crude humor was the best. The counselor assigned to babysit the entitled douche struggled to keep up. He was torn between doing his job, being starstruck, being on TV, and being a hero to his group of kids. The rest of the counselors had our own groups and tried our best to keep them focused on their own activities. But it was a losing battle. It was hours of us literally watching this guy climbing railings and bleachers, disrespecting staff, inappropriately grabbing female counselors, cussing in front of the kids, and making our entire camp look extremely unprofessional. Our program director was horrified and tried to stop filming, But apparently the contract allowed for all of these shenanigans. The final straw happened near the end of his first day of filming. He was strapped into a mock simulator of a moonwalk machine at the time that allowed you to walk as if you weighed 1/6 of your current weight, your weight on the moon. This machine was spring-loaded, padded, and had numerous safety features. Entitled Douche broke free of the babysitter's grasp of the machine and jumped a few times, testing his limits. He bottomed out a couple of times, but nothing too bad, just knocked a little bit of padding loose. A few of us counselors knew what was coming. Entitled Douche took a running start and a giant leap. The string snapped back, pulling him about 10 feet into the air, and he came down hard. That little bit of padding he knocked loose earlier was the padding on the bottom of the machine to cushion the blow in case a child jumped too hard from about 3 feet high. It was the most satisfying crunch onto a concrete floor I had ever heard. Filming shut down for the day. He and the film crew left. Yes, he was moving quite slowly. We settled all the kids down, finished up their day, and retired for the evening. The next morning, we were informed that said celeb would not be returning to film due to a scheduling conflict. Rumor had it he cracked his tailbone. Edit, this chair is still in use, but has been modified with additional safety features. Well guys, that's all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Stay beautiful everyone, watch out for wild Karens, and I'll see you later.